Hello again, and welcome to the second episode of the Student Festival Diaries. It's a horribly wet and rainy day here at Flexney. I'd rather stay warm and dry and have a cup of tea, so instead of planting garlic, what we're going to do today is look at indoor herbs. It's still a couple of months until the growing season properly starts, so I thought looking at indoor herbs is a good place to go. I'm going to show you how to look after them during these months and how to divide them and get a few more herbs than you pay for. We're going to look at different types of herbs and the best ones to keep indoors as well. Right, so the herbs we're going to be looking at today is I've bought some parsley and some flat leaf rosemary. Some good choices. Over on the windowsill over here, we've got some basil, which is coming to the end of life. It's been there for a couple of months now, and some coriander, which again is coming to the end of its life. But I like coriander, and it's not the best indoor herb to keep going, but I like the flavour of coriander. So, parsley. What we're going to do now is show you how to divide this thing. So what we do first is we're going to find out what containers we're going to use to put the parsley into. We're going to use some old soup pot and an old brandy cream pot. What we're going to do first of all is, you can use any pot, but you need to make sure you get some drainage. So we're going to pierce some holes into these, just to allow for water, but not too big, otherwise all the compost is going to go through. And we're going to fill these with a little bit of compost. Ready, simple, and compost. But I'm going to pre-water these to make sure that the soil is nice and moist when the plant goes in. They're going to be nice and they're very through. Then we've got our herb. I just bought this from the supermarket. You can buy most herbs, most standard herbs from the supermarket these days. So what I'm going to do is divide this into three. So I'll give them a good water about an hour ago to make sure the soil stays together well and it doesn't clump together and it doesn't stress the herb too much. If it's dry, it can be very stressful for the plant. So I'm just going to give it a tap all the way around. And I'm going to very slowly tip it up and pull the pot off. You'll see there's root systems all around the bottom here, so I'm going to divide them into three, so just look into thirds. So I'm going to go, that's a third, and I'm going to go, that's a third, and then I'm going to quickly refill this one, water in, and say that's a third, and then really give them a good press down into all of them, and then refill and make sure they're nice and snug. Extra compost, and that's how to divide a herb plant. I know they're smaller, but they've got room to grow, and the compost got plenty of nutrients in, and give them some good water and some time, and you'll have three herbs for the price of one. I'm now going to look at how to make sure these herbs stay alive and how to keep them in the best of health for as long as possible. So the first tip is the position of the herb. You want to make sure that it is fairly sunny, not, if you can, a couple of hours to a few hours a day. You're looking for a windowsill that doesn't have a radiator below it or is too drafty, has a window open all the time, especially at this time of year because it can be quite cold. You then want to look at watering. Watering is really important with herbs. People often either underwater or overwater. I find the best way to do it is just do a finger test by popping your finger into the soil itself and feeling if it's too moist or too dry. You want it to remain fairly consistently moist, but don't keep watering it too often. And the best way to do it, I find, if you're away, is to put a bowl or a tray underneath it and put some water into the bowl or tray and let the water be absorbed up through the soil. The other one is temperature. Generally, average indoor temperatures, maybe not student houses, but most indoor temperatures are absolutely fine for indoors. You want to make sure you do continue picking leaves, because if you don't, you won't encourage growth. By picking leaves, you're going to keep encouraging that new growth to come, but you don't want to overstrip the herb, because without the leaves, it can't photosynthesize and it will die. And then you want to make sure, even at this time of year, there's a bit of air circulation, preferably in the middle of the day when it's warmer, just because it will really help for the health of the herb. And that's really the main points. Make sure it's got a good position, keep it watered but not over underwatered, keep it in a good indoor temperature, keep picking leaves to ensure the good growth, and ensure a bit of air circulation when you can. Just before I go, I just want to say thank you to Lewin from Bristol and Erin from Nottingham Uni for sending some photos of the crest that they grew. And I will see you next time.